Harold, always a privilege to talk to you. How have you been? I believe I hit the unmute for you. It's a little button there. You're coming on now, Harold, right? Hell's rethink. Hell, I think you have to click something to be able to allow you to speak. You know, look for your microphone icon at the bottom. I see you, but I don't hear you.
Yeah, he's unmuted, Dale. So maybe perhaps it's got the wrong he's got the wrong microphones. Yeah, audio source plugged in. So
Yeah,
he's just got to switch the audio source there.
you have to switch the audio source if you know how to do it. I don't know. Harold. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, we can't hear you, buddy. Okay. There's nothing I could do remotely or you could do. I see his mic is open. Oh.
Yeah, next to
I think he left.
No, he's still here. I see him.
Okay.
Next to the mute button, there should be an arrow, and it allows him to select which microphone he's using.
Yeah. So Harold, if you scroll where all the icons are, for me, it's at the bottom of the page right now, and you go to where the microphone is, you can change your setting.
Yeah, it'll be right here. I'll see if I can show you guys, Harold. If you're, and this is me looking at my Zoom screen, so I'm going to go ahead and share that. So you can see right here next to your mute button that's on the bottom of your screen, you should be able to select this little button right here. It's a little arrow, and that'll allow you to select which microphone you want to choose.
And okay. Harold's never had a problem before.
No, but you know, I know Harold does a lot of interviews, so if he uses a different platform, what happens is, you know, being on a different platform, he's gonna automatically
look at that Aussie come back for you, Blake. Nice spot.
I picked up a lot of Aussie, so thanks, man. Yeah, so
you're gonna have to have a Forster's this afternoon.
There you go. Yeah, I'll take a beer. I'll take, you know, please. Harold, any luck? Any luck?
We're gonna have to do this again. I have a feeling.
Yeah. It's quite possible.
Because I had some things I wanted to ask him. In particular, what his daughter is sharing. And something he talked about a long time ago. It's this right here. Where did I put it? Here. That's a big cable, everyone.
That is a big cable.
And basically the spectator is saying, you know, it's amazing. We have our whole, you know, technical infrastructure.
Yeah.
This connects the continents, okay, not just Britain. That is, you know, steel. What if they're cut? Who would want to cut cables like that? Anyone you know, Blake?
I know a few people.
Yeah, there's probably an adversary or two that wouldn't mind causing us
a little bit of havoc, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't think we're going to be able to talk to Harold today.
That's a shame. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll bring him back. I'll bring him back next cancel. The Forex guest hunter. I found the guest, but now I have to be Forex technical expert, which I'm like Harold. I would have the same problem. So, have a great weekend, Blake. I want to thank you for leading the crew into a new era for ForexAnalytix, and the growth is. Congratulations on the growth and everything that's going on, and the job that we do, I think, is better than anyone out there. as far as a group of people, a nucleus of talented people that care about people, is very rare, and great to be part of it.
Well, thanks, Dale. It's nice to have you as part of the crew as well, and really, being the shining star for. I hear a microphone.
Oh, Harold. I think I hear Harold.
I think I hear Harold too. Harold?
I don't know what the problem was.
Oh my God, he's here. He's here.
All right.
Hey,
great.
All right, guys.
All right. So, well, we'll just have to edit.
Yeah, let me run through a couple of things first. The one thing I've been hitting you with in the past is that the 4 big exporters, Germany, China, Japan, and South Korea, their model would peter out, and that they would no longer be able to run on export surpluses as an engine from now on out. So I'm not going to argue the point now. Just keep it in mind. Second point, I did say I thought that the yuan would, during the course of the year, begin to fall. I think it will fall quite a bit in the coming months. The Chinese economy is not going to rebound. It's now set, I believe, for several years of very slow growth, under 2% annually. And that's going to change a lot of thinking. Now,
okay. So why is it weakening against the dollar in light of that China's not going to recover?
Well, China needs an export surplus.
Okay, so yeah, beggar thy neighbor.
So without it, they can't move. And so to sell anything, they'll have to keep weakening. Now, the new control of Xi Jinping is going to be underestimated by everyone. He wants to control everything, which means that eventually he's going to look at a weak economy and the foreign producers operating inside China. And I believe China will gradually move towards taking over the foreign companies completely. So I think the end of US companies, for example, participating inside China is coming. May not be in a year, but within a few years.
I read that they even say they own the moon and Mars, and
well,
didn't he say that, Harold? It's a philosophy they have about being rulers of the world.
But anyway, let's turn to the U.S. outlook.
Okay.
We don't know, of course, until Tuesday. Well, until sometime after Tuesday, what will be the new picture. But the latest polls in recent days suggest not only House taking over by Republicans, but the Senate looks to be tipping toward Republican majority. Now, what's important to understand is under the Constitution, the House has full control of any measures affecting revenues, whether taxes or spending. So if the House decides to do nothing or do little, then the president can do nothing. The president, most likely in that case, will spend his time on foreign policy because he won't have domestic power. So what is the outlook? Well, I think there's been a lot of misunderstanding about Powell up till now. When Powell was about to start his press conference, he looked at the stock market screen and grimaced quite a bit. And then he turned into his Super Hawk presentation.
Yeah.
We're going to keep going. We're going higher than everybody thinks. It's my judgment. You know, I'm around Washington atmosphere and people a lot, and I have a pretty good feel of what's on his mind. And I think everybody's underestimating. He does want a significant downturn in the S&P. He does want a serious recession to start. So he thinks it's necessary to get the economy slowed down, but also to get rid of a lot of the asset bubbles. So he wants a dive in the S&P, and one way or another, if we start to slide there, the Fed will do nothing to stop it. So I think everybody's underestimating how serious he is about hitting hard on the brakes. He does want a hard landing, but he can't say that.
Right. So he's not going to be Captain Sully gliding the aircraft onto the Hudson River.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
let me ask you this, Harold. So he's frustrated with the resilience of the stock market holding up, despite what he's done, which it is doing again. So what if the stock market refuses to cooperate with Powell? He's just going to tighten us into oblivion till he gets 3,000 or 2,500 S&P?
The restraint on him will be the FOMC vote. There are 4 or 5 FOMC members who are what I call Biden puppets.
They're dissenting from, because their statement was crafted and what he said was different.
Right.
Right? Okay.
I think the vice chairman, Lyle Brainerd, has signaled that she's becoming concerned about so-called stability of the market. Yeah. And so they're focused on institutional crises. So that balance could change. But if it doesn't, I think Powell really wants the S&P down at least to
3,000,
3,200,
yeah,
and maybe lower. So now, inflation
is that? But let me ask you this. I've heard the explanation for it. Is that our economy is so financialized that you could run the economy based upon the level of the stock market?
Yeah.
Is that true? That's the world we live in now.
It is.
Okay.
And I think that's, he's out of that world of financialization. He was private equity and all that stuff. So now the jobs market is going to have a surprise after we get through the year, because the data adjustment that the Labor Department must make to reconcile its real data from the monthly seasonally adjusted data, which is full of assumptions about things like birth and death of jobs. Probably there's about 1 million jobs in excess in the numbers. So we're going to see the jobs are not nearly as robust as everybody thinks they are, but it'll come not tomorrow morning, but we get that shock.
Next year, Harold, next year is when we feel the real pain and see it on our TV screens, the work they did manifesting.
That's right. Now,
next year, what do you think? Mid-year, later in the year? What's your best
early
guess?
months, early months. So the recession is going to look live and severe. And I think that's why people like Jamie Dimon are trying to warn everybody it's going to be worse than everybody thinks.
Do you think that's the beginning of the end of the king dollar? That the dollar, it's trying to reverse its trend? Could the dollar weaken in that scenario?
No.
Still a strong dollar because the Fed wants one.
It's not the Fed only on the Treasury. The euro can't possibly remain strong.
Okay. Okay. The
and
problem's
then,
in Europe.
In China, the yuan is going to weaken. And the Japanese are barely holding the yen where it is. I mean, they have to keep, with words or with action, they have to keep pecking at it, put up, not going below 150. So
right. Okay.
The pressure,
under 146, it's gonna look like they were successful. Do you think the Fed? I know the Fed didn't intervene, but they intervened in a different way by leaking that article last Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, I mean, they didn't have to go into the FX market. They just leaked them an article. Do you think eventually the Fed is going to be forced to help Japan in their fight against a stronger dollar? Because aren't they the lender of last resort to the whole world now, the Fed? You know, they have credit swaps with Credit Suisse.
Right.
If he can, he's going to have to bail out the whole world.
Yeah, and especially euro. The euro won't survive the next year without a huge currency swap. And with the Republicans in the House,
they're not going to do it.
Probably in the Senate, they'll try to push back. So it will be interesting to see if the Fed and the Treasury feel they are able to provide extensive currency swaps to help the euro. They may not be able to. So the euro, to me, looks like it's going to have a rough downturn somewhere during the year.
Okay.
So now, what I think should not be underestimated is paralysis means no fiscal relief. If we have a recession, no response from Congress, no extra money spent, no stimulus.
Right.
So
austerity. America hasn't felt austerity in a long time, have we?
That's correct. Not really.
Okay, so this could be a new experience for people that I can't remember the last period of austerity in the U.S. Can you?
Well, no, well, anybody under 45 has never known any.
Yeah. Okay.
And they don't. None of those people are familiar with the down market.
Are they going to cut Social Security and other entitlements if they take the House and the Senate?
Try, but it's very, very hard to do that. If the Republicans are trying to win the presidency in 2024, the rule in considering what to do with Social Security is old people vote. Young people don't always show up to vote. So it's very, very hard until the Republicans get through 2024 before they can really hack it. So
who's going to be their nominee, Harold? Just a guess. And your guesses are better than guesses, but who do you think?
Well, right now, I would say it's going to be DeSantis simply because he has momentum. But there are a number of faces coming, and I've never seen so much confusion. Trump is going to get injured by a series of court cases. He's going to run out of money. And then it'll be hard to collect money if it looks like he's can't control the money will be taken by the government. So
Okay.
it's an open field. But DeSantis has the momentum, but it's a big puzzle because he's not been addressing national issues. He's not been addressing foreign issues. He's just
Right.
doing a bang-up job in Florida, but the country will want more than that. So
Yeah.
And I don't think Biden will survive running again. And then there's another big unknown. So
When you look across the Democratic field, who is it going to be? Gavin? Don't tell me Gavin Newsom.
well, the candidates right now, I hope none of them. The big surprise might be Michelle Obama, who comes out of nowhere, and that would change the whole. I'm not in favor.
Michelle and Oprah as vice president. Yeah. Anyway, I was wondering if we could switch to some geo, because Pippa retweeted this picture I saw sometime this week, and you talked about this 6 months ago. You see the cable?
Yeah.
All right. So are we getting to the point where why don't we talk about what's happening in Ukraine? What do you think?
I'm following Ukraine very closely because I have lines in with most of the Europeans, and strangely, I have fairly good interaction even with Moscow, because I wrote some public articles about Putin in which I try to explain him, but I didn't attack him. And since then, I've had communications from time to time. So I think I have a pretty good feel, and I think Pippa's not far off the mark. We're at a very delicate moment. And
Yes.
the problem is, I think the White House is determined to humiliate Putin. And as some people may know, I met Putin and talked to him at length 7 years before he became president. I know him a little bit for a long time. And he's not somebody who will go out peacefully. He'll assert, move to dramatic problems. So it's very, very dicey at the moment. So I think that's a big unknown in the picture. He's run out of ability to win on the battlefield, so he needs to do something to force a U.S.-Russia direct face-to-face discussion of how to stabilize the world, and that's what he wants.
So he's looking for an out. You believe he wants to end this war?
Yeah, I think he does.
Okay.
It's becoming an embarrassment.
Isn't it existential for him if he ends a war in this state? There's news reports about, I forgot his name, who runs that militia, actually challenging.
Prigozhin, who runs Wagner.
So they're already jockeying, different people jockeying for, there'll be a power struggle.
What he needs is an agreement from Biden to sit down and talk about European security, however fuzzy that is. He needs to be seen face to face with the US president. That may save him. But if he can't get that, I'm not talking about the substance of what they decide, but rather that they meet and start a discussion. And that discussion can go on for months, even years. It's up till now, Biden is saying, I don't really want to talk to him. And so that, to me, is the big puzzle. And I don't think they want to talk about Ukraine. I think what Putin wants to talk about is some broader, fuzzy idea about what is the long-term border of pressure between NATO and the US on the one side and Russia on the other. I don't think he needs an immediate answer. I think he just needs talk.
Right.
I'm not sure
He
he's
just
going to
need,
get
so a meeting like that legitimizes him again and gives him back his credibility. Do you think he's going to have to, what cards does he have left to play? You know, tactical nuke?
Yeah, he can. And we don't have small nukes to respond. So if he uses, nukes in artillery shells, they can do damage, they create radiation, but they don't necessarily blow up cities.
No.
We don't have it. We have city busters. We don't have anything small.
Okay.
So it's going to be a very tricky moment. And at the heart of it, what the whole thing is all about, the news has not covered this, is the backbone of the Nordic countries and Poland is the US Second Fleet, which has a lot of submarines with nuclear capable missiles.
Oh, and they poked their nose above water, I heard this week, right? To show the world that they're there, huh?
They're showing off there. We have B-52 bombers stationed in the Arctic Circle in Norway. We are showing you don't want to do this, but Putin is desperate. So desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah. So that's a worry. Any reason you could see why he flipped? At first, he wanted to back out of the grain deal with the wheat, and wheat soared for a day and a half, and then for some reason he said, "Okay, well, we changed our mind again."
Well, he was pissed off about the drones going after his ships, but Turkey's Erdogan is now pretty much in control of the grain shipments. So basically, Erdogan is just saying, back off. We're going to let the shipments keep going.
Yeah, that wheat's been sitting in silos for 6 months. I don't know if I'd want to eat it, but if you're starving,
that's another problem. That's right.
Yeah, I mean the global food situation. I don't see it improving. I don't care what the Fed does. They can't print agricultural commodities, and I think that's going to make the Fed. Oh, maybe it gives Powell the justification to keep tightening and tightening, even though they can't control food prices unless everyone goes on a diet. Right, Harold? I mean, how are they going to bring down inflation if we have food shortages?
I think we're going to see dramatic decline in almost all the inflationary pressures except food.
Yeah.
But food is a whole different ballgame because it's determined by multi-year developments in crops, and weather, fertilizer,
Mother Nature.
And if we have a really bad year, this year we're having a bad year with not only the Ukraine problem, but the droughts in some parts of the world, floods in other parts of the world.
Europe and India shaved off 10 tons. It's happening everywhere from the hot weather.
That's right. So
what about rivers drying up like the Mississippi and the Rhine and the Great Danube?
When the rivers dry up, you can't move the products.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there. Anyway, I hate bull markets and grain, but they're bull markets. And can we just any thing on your mind after Xi went through the election and had one of his predecessors taken away at the ceremony, or and what his goals and things he said? Do we have to worry about the Taiwan Straits now? Because I've heard statements that Xi said we have to prepare for World War in 7 years. Is that to make everyone complacent that it's not around the corner?
It's no doubt in my mind he would like to move on Taiwan now that he's consolidated power.
Right.
But his Navy, this is a maritime battle. His Navy is totally familiar with our Navy.
Right.
What's never been in the news is the two navies have been talking to each other extensively ever since Tiananmen Square, when Bush 41 severed diplomatic relations with China and ordered the Commander-in-Chief Pacific to create a new network of diplomacy through the Navy. And that has continued quietly ever since. The two navies know each other. Chinese Navy understands the firepower of the U.S. Navy. There's no desire to have a battle at sea with the U.S. Navy.
Good news.
And in fact, she is aware of it, ordered the Navy to stop talking to the U.S. About 6 weeks ago. But I underestimate that restraint. Big militaries don't like bloodshed if it means that they're going to lose the lives of their own people. The problem is not rearranging its defense system. What we should be doing is cut the army in half or more, build up our capabilities at sea and in the air in Europe, and then if the Chinese move on Taiwan, we not only have the firepower of our Pacific fleet, we would also have second strike capability of moving everything by air and sea to the same area and hit them twice. They couldn't sustain.
Okay, we're having a little trouble with the volume. But Harold, it's always great talking to you, and I'm going to try and bring you back sooner so that we could catch up and not have any technical difficulties because we need but I want to thank you for being here and filling us in and sharing the intelligence gathering that you do on your own with the rest of the world on these these little shows. You're a watchman for us here in our community by keeping us in touch with things that we can't read about or see.
Let me end with a comment that a number of really big institutions here and abroad have been approaching me recently saying, we don't really have exactly this. A watchman who can see what's happening and analyze it. Would you put together a small team to provide that for the big institutions? And I am doing that now. So you may see something soon. It won't be retail, but it may be exactly what you're talking about. A watchman who can evaluate without the drama of US or European or Russian political disinformation.
Yeah. Well, when things are going smoothly, everyone's a genius, right? And when things aren't, they need an expert, which you certainly are, Harold. So great talking to you. And
I'm sorry about the sound problem.
That's okay. That's show business.
New apparatus.
That's show business. But anyway, if I don't talk to you by then, have a great fall and holiday season, and keep in touch with me on any new developments, and we could always get you in for if you see something you want to address. I'll find a way to get you in. Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to send you some alerts as we get into this.
All right. So everyone can follow Harold at Hal's Rethink, and also I did show here's his website at Malmgren si.org and check out some of his research. And, it's great to have it right at your fingertips. So that's going to be a wrap for me, everyone. You could join the team in 7 minutes. Hope you enjoyed Harald and, all the guests we had this week, and have a great weekend. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And I'll see everyone Monday. Thanks again, buddy.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we provide here for free. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.